Hi, my friends. My name is Melissa from Melissa's Struggling Walk with Jesus. I am here with you on Tuesday, October 28th, about 8:06 in the evening. And I am going to be sharing with you from the Amplified Holy Bible and the Navigator's Bible Reading Plan, Judges chapter 17 and 18. So chapter 17 talks about Micah's idolatry, and it says, "There was a man of the hill country of Ephraim, whose name was Micah. And he said to his mother, The 1,100 pieces of silver which were taken from you, about which you cursed the thief and also spoke about in my hearing, behold, the silver is with me, I took it. And his mother said, Blessed be my son before the Lord. He returned the 1,100 pieces of silver to his mother, and she said, I had truly dedicated the silver from my hand to the Lord for my son in his name to make an image, carved from wood and plated with silver, and a cast image of solid silver. So now I will return it to you. So when he returned the silver to his mother, she took 200 pieces of silver and gave them to the silversmith, who made of it an image of silver-plated wood and a cast image of solid silver. And they were in the house of Micah. Now the man Micah had a house of gods, a shrine, and he made an ephod and teraphim, and dedicated and installed one of his sons, who became his personal priest. In those days there was no king in Israel. Every man did what was right in his own eyes. Verse 7. Now there was a young man from Bethlehem in Judah, from the family of the tribe of Judah, who was a Levite, and he was staying there temporarily. The word Levite, for example, not one of the descendants of Judah, but living among them. Verse 8. Then the man left the town of Bethlehem in Judah to stay wherever he could find a place. And as he journeyed, he came to the hill country of Ephraim, to the house of Micah. Micah said to him, Where do you come from? And he said to him, I am a Levite from Bethlehem in Judah, and I am going to stay wherever I can find a place. And Micah said to him, Live here with me and be a father and a personal priest to me, and I will give you 10 pieces of silver each year, a supply of clothing, and your sustenance, room and board. So the Levite went in. The Levite agreed to live with the man, and the young man became to Micah like one of his sons. So Micah dedicated, installed the Levite, and the young man became his priest and lived in the house of Micah. Then Micah said, Now I know that the Lord will favor me and make me prosper, because I have a Levite as my priest. All right, so Judges chapter 18, it talks about Danites seek territory. Verse 1, In those days there was no king in Israel, and in those days the tribe of the Danites was seeking an inheritance of land for themselves to live in. For until then an inheritance had not been allotted to them as a possession among the tribes of Israel. Where it says inheritance, the original tribal allotment from Joshua in chapter 19 verses 40 through 48 was sufficient. The problem was that they did not subdue the Amorites. Check out Judges chapter 1 verse 34, and the Philistines, who controlled the territory. Verse 2. So when the sons of Dan sent from the total number of their extended family 5 brave men from Zorah and Eshtaol to scout the land and to explore it, and they said to them, Go, explore the land. They came to the hill country of Ephraim, to the house of Micah, and lodged there. When they passed near Micah's house, they recognized the voice of the young man, the Levite, and they turned aside there and said to him, Who brought you here? And what are you doing in this place? And what do you have here? And he said to them, Micah has done this and that for me, and he has hired me, and I have become his priest. And they said to him, "Please ask a god, so that we may know whether our journey on which we are going will be successful." The priest said to them, "Go in peace. The journey on which you are going is acceptable to the Lord." Then the 5 men went on and came to Laish, and saw the people who lived there, how they were living securely in the style of the Sidonians, quiet and peaceful, and there was no oppressive magistrate in the land humiliating them in anything, and they were far from the Sidonians and had no dealings with anyone. The 5 men came back home to their brothers at Zorah and Eshtaol, and the brothers said to them, "What do you have to report?" They said, "Arise, let us go up against them. For we have seen the land, and behold, it is very good, fertile. Will you sit still and do nothing? Do not hesitate to go, to enter, and to take possession of the land. When you enter, you will come to people feeling safe and secure, with a spacious land, widely extended on all sides, for God has given it into your hands, a place where there is no lack of anything that is on the earth." Then from the tribal family of the Danites, from Zorah and from Eshtaol, 600 men armed with weapons of war set out. They went up and camped at Kiriath Jearim in Judah. Therefore they have called that place Mahaneh-dan to this day, and it is west of Kiriath Jearim. In verse 12, where it says Mahaneh-dan, this is probably the camp of Dan. Verse 13, and they went on from there to the hill country of Ephraim and came to Micah's house. All right, so Judges chapter 18, starting with verse 14, the title goes, "Into Danites take Micah's idol." Then the 5 men who had gone to scout the country of Laish said to their relatives, "Do you know that there are in these houses an ephod, teraphim, an image of silver-plated wood, and a cast image of solid silver? Now therefore consider what you should do." So they turned in that direction and came to the house of the young Levite at the home of Micah, and asked him how he was doing. Now the 600 men armed with their weapons of war, who were of the sons of Dan, stood at the entrance of the gate. Now the 5 men who had gone to scout the land went up and entered the house, and took the image of silver-plated wood, the ephod, the teraphim, and the cast image of solid silver, while the priest stood by the entrance of the gate with the 600 men armed with weapons of war. And when these 5 men went into Micah's house and took the plated image, the ephod, the teraphim, and the cast image, the priest asked them, "What are you doing?" They said to him, "Keep quiet. Put your hand over your mouth and come with us, and be a father and a priest to us. Is it better for you to be a priest to the house of one man, or to be a priest to a tribe and family in Israel?" The priest's heart was glad to hear that, and he took the ephod, the teraphim, and the image, and went among the people. So they turned and left, and they put the children, the livestock, and the valuables and supplies in front of them. And when they had gone some distance from the house of Micah, the men who were living in the houses near Micah's house assembled as a militia and overtook the sons of Dan. They shouted to the Danites, who turned and said to Micah, "What is your reason for assembling against us?" And he said, "You have taken away my gods which I have made, and the priest, and have gone away. What else do I have left? How can you say to me, what is your reason?" The sons of Dan said to him, "Do not let your voice of complaint be heard among us, or else angry men will assault you, and you will lose your life, along with the lives of everyone in your household." Then the Danites went on their way, and Micah saw that they were too strong for him, so he turned and went back to his house. They took the idolatrous things that Micah had made, and his priest, and they came to Laish, to a people who were quiet and secure, and they struck them with the edge of the sword, and burned the city with fire. And there was no one to rescue them, because it was far from Sidon, and they had no dealings with anyone. It was in the valley which belongs to Beth Rehob, and they rebuilt the city and lived in it. They named the city Dan, after Dan their forefather, who was born to Israel, Jacob. However, the original name of the city was Laish. The tribe of the sons of Dan set up the image of silver-plated wood for themselves, and Jonathan, the son of Gershom, the son of Moses, and his sons were priests to the tribe of the Danites until the day of the captivity and exile from the land. In verse 30, where it says Moses, this was changed to Manasseh in the Hebrew text. Verse 31, so they set up for themselves Micah's silver-plated wooden image, which he had made, and kept it throughout the time that the house, the tabernacle of the Lord, was at Shiloh.